Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch scale AT-AT driver. I picked up this figure along with this entire wave of 6-inch Black Series figures from BigBadToyStore.com. For all your toy and collecting needs, visit Big Bad Toy Store. There is a link down below. As I mentioned in our Snow Trooper video, it is really great to have a batch of classic trilogy figures that we've been waiting on for some time, especially Trooper figures. And the AT-AT driver is such a classic design, and it's so nice to finally have it in 6-inch figure form. The packaging, as you can see, is the same Black Series style we have seen before. Figure is prominently displayed within, and you get a nice render down at the bottom. Side of the box, you can see inside, get a little peek at his profile. Opposite side indicates that this is number 31 in the line. And at the back, you can read some information about the AT-AT driver. The Empire's combat drivers are trained to handle everything in the Imperial Grand Arsenal, but AT-AT drivers see themselves as elite, controlling their massive 4-footed assault vehicles in combat against rebel targets. So they're stuck up. Okay, all right. And there's an image that you see in the front, and here at the top, you can look inside there, and that's the bottom. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get the figure unboxed. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at the AT-AT driver. All right, you guys, now here is the AT-AT driver out of the box, or AT-AT driver, depending on how old you are. And it looks really good. It's got a very nice sculpt to it. I really like the design. He does look a little bit fat maybe, but you know, that is accurate. There's a lot of insulation going on with this outfit because after all, they are on Hoth and they need to keep warm inside those cozy little AT-AT cockpits. And one thing I do want to say before we get into the figure is that I got to give props to Hasbro because a lot of the time in the past, Kenner did it, Hasbro did it, other companies have done it where they take this armor and they paint it white. It wasn't white in the film, it was actually gray. And if you look at the props that were used in The Empire Strikes Back, they were gray. Not a super dark gray, but gray nonetheless. And Hasbro actually made those parts gray. Maybe they're not quite as dark as they would have been on the actual props, but nonetheless, I think Hasbro is the only company to get this right other than Sideshow. So hats off to them for that attention to detail. The proportions of the figure look very nice. I really like what I'm seeing here aesthetically speaking. It looks like they got all the little details covered. The coloration looks really good. And as a Black Series figure, he does have a good bit of articulation and comes with one accessory. Here is a close-up of the AT-AT driver, and again, I think that this has a very marvelous looking sculpt. The helmet looks great. It's not too small, not too big, looks to be very good. Paint on the helmet looks great. The only thing I would say is that this Imperial insignia right there looks a little bit far off to the right compared to the left one. It's just a slight difference, but I do notice that. Nice painted details there on the helmet. And it looks really good. I like that little hose that's connected to this control box here on his chest. Doesn't seem like that comes off. Seems like it's glued or attached in place. These hoses are rubbery, and they do connect back here. And look at that paint detail. Very nice metallic, and I like the little red detail there. The rest of the armor looks really great. Here at the back, lots of nice sculpt work in there. You can see there's a lot going on. And same with this control box here at the front. It looks really good, really clean paint, really nice. And again, I'm really happy that Hasbro painted this armor gray rather than, you know, just white like they normally do. And these shoulder bits right here are soft rubber. And once we get into articulation, I'll show you why that is. You can see more armor down here. The flight suit, or driving suit looks good. It's a nice darker gray color, nicely sculpted, nice wrinkles in it. And of course you have this bit that's soft, very soft plastic that connects to the back of the figure right there and then wraps around his legs, connects up here in the front. And the boots look nice. They're a gray color, and they look kind of like astronaut boots, kind of like moon boots or something, but I like them. I think it's fun. It looks great. And overall, aesthetically, this just looks really good. I'm really happy with the way that this looks. It looks proportionate. It looks realistic. Now, in terms of articulation, you get a ball joint here at the head. You can move it quite a bit for a helmeted head, which is kind of impressive. And you can turn it side to side. There is some restriction because of these hoses, but it's really not too bad since they are kind of, very soft. I did mention that these are rubber here on the shoulder, like what we saw on the Imperial Death Trooper for Rogue One. The point is that you can articulate it all the way, and this being rubber enables you to do that. I don't like that it bunches up like that, though. I'm worried it's going to permanently like deform or something. And it's the same thing over here. It just kind of like, gets bunched up like that. I really don't like that. So I like the idea of, giving the figure more movement, but I don't like how that material does that because I don't want it to permanently mess up or tear or whatever. As far as those ball joints go, they do move very well despite, this happening here. You get ball joints at both of the elbows, very nice movement there. Bends and swivels at both of the wrists. You get good movement there, and the right wrist actually does the same exact thing forward and back. Ball joint here at the torso, a decent amount of movement to it. Side to side is best, up and down a little bit. Ball hinging at both of the hips, and they're not too restricted because of this. This is really, really soft right here. But he doesn't do a full split. That's about as much as he's going to go. And you do go forward all the way, which is good in case we do get a 6-inch scale AT-AT walker one day. I doubt it because I've thought about it, and it would be somewhere around 5 feet tall, which is almost as tall as me. So I don't think that's going to happen, but hey, who knows? And you also get your swivels at the thighs. You get double bends at both of the knees. And then you get your typical joints here at the ankles, along with the rocker swivels. So, really good range of movement there. So overall, very nicely articulated. In terms of weapons and accessories, we get this right here. It's an Imperial issue blaster, much like what we saw with the snowtroopers, so nothing too crazy. He holds it just fine, so there aren't any issues there. Another thing that's kind of cool is that you can slide the weapon right here underneath this strap, and it's probably not film accurate. It's probably not something he normally would have done, but it's still kind of cool that you can do that. Gives you a place to store it at least. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars, the Black Series, 6-inch scale AT-AT pilot, or driver, since there is a running change in the packaging. Overall, you guys, I am thoroughly happy with this figure. I wouldn't say I'm quite as happy with it as I am the Snowtrooper, only for the reason being that I don't like how the shoulders kind of get all bunched up when you articulate them outward. I think that is to the detriment of the figure, and I do see that being a problem long term. So I'm going to try and abstain from posing it in that fashion because I'm just afraid it's going to mess up. But like I said, sculpting on the figure is fantastic. I'm thoroughly happy with the sculpt and design of the figure. The paint looks phenomenal. I'm really happy that Hasbro gave this the more grayish sort of color for the armor. Blaster's great. The articulation, other than the shoulders bunching up, works very well on this figure. No issues there at all. I'm happy with it. If you're a fan of the 6-inch Black Series line, or you like the Trooper designs from the original trilogy, then you really need to consider adding the AT-AT Pilot to your collection. It's just a very nice figure, one of Hasbro's best examples of what a 6-inch Black Series figure should be. Alright my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If so, do give us a like, do subscribe, let me know your own thoughts down in the comments. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where we talk a lot about Star Wars action figures and collectibles. And as always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, my friends. Bye-bye.